Jeff the Killer. The Jeff the Killer image, often referred to as the JTK image, is a well-known internet urban legend involving a mysterious, heavily edited photo that became the face of the Jeff. The Killer creepypasta has been circulating the internet since 2008. Despite extensive efforts by internet sleuths, the original source image remains undiscovered, adding to the legend's mystique. Over time, various stories and theories about the image's origins have emerged, leading to confusion and furthering the legend. One of the earliest theories linked the image to Katie Robinson, a young woman who allegedly posted a photo of herself on the 4chan board back in 2008. The story goes that she was ridiculed online, leading to her photo being edited into the Jeff the Killer image. Later, a post, supposedly by her sister, claimed that Katie had become depressed and committed suicide due to the online harassment. However, there is no verifiable evidence of Katie Robinson's existence or death, and her story was debunked by Cesar, the creator of the original creepypasta, who stated in 2015 interview that the Jeff the Killer image was created using a latex mask, plastic eyes, and some Photoshop work. In 2019, a YouTuber named Gage interviewed a woman named Heather White who claimed to be the real Katie Robinson. She revealed that her photo was stolen from her MySpace account and posted on 4chan as a prank. This led to the creation of the fabricated suicide story. Moreover, the same photo was found on a satirical religious website called True Christian as far back as 2004. Further disproving the Katie Robinson theory. Another theory involved a Japanese woman named Mariko. Her image was discovered on the website gazobox.com and closely matched the Jeff the Killer image. Mariko's photos had been circulated online without her consent, leading to harassment. It was rumored that she had also committed suicide, but this was later debunked, as she had simply broken up with her boyfriend who had initially shared her photos. Additionally, Cesar's claim of creating the image was challenged when users found a video titled NNN Special Broadcast, uploaded to YouTube in 2007, which featured the Jeff the Killer image a year before Cesar's creepypasta was posted. The image was also traced back to a 2005 post on the website Paya! By a user named Mr. Omegabolt, further suggesting that the image is older than originally thought. Another variation of the image was posted by Mr. Malholland on Paya in September 2005. Selene Delgado Lopez. The story of Selene Delgado Lopez is a notable urban legend from Mexico that has intrigued and puzzled many since its inception in the early 2000s. The legend revolves around a mysterious and unsettling photograph of Selene Delgado Lopez, first seen on a broadcast of Servicio Comunidad on Canal 5, a Mexican TV channel known for airing community service announcements late at night. These broadcasts typically listed missing persons in hopes of viewers providing information about their whereabouts. In 2001, one particular broadcast featured Selene Delgado Lopez, an 18-year-old girl who had gone missing in Mexico City. Unlike other missing persons in the broadcast, Selene's entry included minimal information, only her name, age, and location of her disappearance. This lack of detail, coupled with her eerie photograph, sparked a series of bizarre occurrences and fueled a widespread urban legend. Viewers reported feeling uneasy when Selene's image appeared on their screens. Some claimed the broadcast would freeze or glitch, cutting to a static when her picture was shown. These strange incidents led to rumors that Selene's spirit haunted the channel and her image was cursed. As the story gained traction, some suggested that Selene Delgado Lopez was not a real person, but rather an AI-generated image. Experts investigating these claims found no public records of Selene Delgado's disappearance, furthering the mystery and reinforcing the belief that her image was somehow fabricated. Adding to the legend, a police sketch of Derek Todd Lee, the Baton Rogue Slayer, circulated around the same time and bore a striking resemblance to Selene's photo. Internet sleuths proposed that Selene's image could have been digitally constructed using features from various sources, including the composite sketch of the Baton Rouge Slayer. A group named Floricida Dreams demonstrated through 3D modeling that Selene's face seemed to be an amalgamation of other images, suggesting her photo was not of a real person. This theory implied that the broadcasters of Servicio a la Comunidad intentionally included a fake person in their segment, possibly as cautionary tale to viewers. In the 2010s, Channel 5's Twitter account began posting strange clips referencing Selene, reigniting interest in the legend and supporting the idea that she might have been a creation of the channel to scare viewers. The story took another turn in 2020 when a Facebook profile of a middle-aged woman named Selene Delgado Lopez surfaced. Users were disturbed to find that they had been added as a friend without their knowledge and could not unfriend her. The profile's mysterious nature led to widespread sharing and concern. However, it was later revealed that the woman was an ordinary person who shared the name. Despite this, the incident added another layer to the urban legend. Several theories attempt to explain the mystery of Selene Delgado Lopez. One theory suggests that she was indeed a real missing person, and the lack of information was due to insufficient resources and efforts from the authorities, as many people went missing in Mexico every month during that time. Another theory posits that Selene was a runaway living on the streets with no identification, which was common for many adolescents and young adults in Mexico City. The poor quality of TV broadcasts at the time could explain the glitches reporting during her segments, which might have been technical issues rather than paranormal phenomena. The Expressionless. The story of the Expressionless is a notable urban legend that originated on the Imagine Board website 4chan in 2010. This legend centers on a creature described as a humanoid with a blank, expressionless face, which has been depicted as extremely dangerous. This legend quickly spread through various online communities, becoming a popular subject for horror stories, images, and videos. The legend setting is often placed in Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles, California, in June 1972, creating a backdrop for the unsettling narrative. According to the legend, the Expressionless is described as a tall, humanoid figure with long, flowing back hair and a pale, white face. Its most distinctive feature is its complete lack of facial expression, hence the name. The figure is said to have no eyes, nose, or mouth, only smooth, blank skin where these features should be. And despite this, the Expressionless is portrayed as highly intelligent and possessing supernatural abilities. These abilities include teleportation, mind control, and the ability to manipulate reality, making a formidable and dangerous entity. It is also said that to have the ability to see into people's minds and read their thoughts. The legend begins with a nameless woman who arrived at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in June 1972, wearing a bloodied white gown. While it was not unusual for injured or sick individuals to arrive at the hospital, this woman stood out due to her mannequin-like appearance and the fluidity of her movements, which were eerily human. Her face was flawless, devoid of certain facial features like eyebrows and smeared with makeup. When she entered the hospital, she had a kitten in her mouth, which she pulled out before collapsing to the ground. The hospital staff, fearing the worst, decided to restrain her until authorities could arrive. They explained their intentions to the woman, who seemed to follow along without resistance. However, when the chief doctor prepared to inject her with the sedative, she began to fight back with extreme force. Two staff members attempted to hold her down, but she rose from the medical bed with the same blank expression on her face. She then smiled, revealing rows of razor-sharp teeth that seemed too long to fit in her mouth. When the head doctor asked her what she was, she leaned close to him and declared, "I am God," before attacking and killing him by severing his jugular. The authorities arrived but were unable to overpower her as she massacred everyone in her path. A surviving nurse dubbed the unknown woman the Expressionless. Since that incident, there have been no further sightings of her. Serbian Dancing Lady. The Serbian Dancing Lady is an urban legend that began circulating on the internet around 2019. This legend tells the story of a mysterious woman who is said to dance at night in various locations around Serbia, particularly in Zvezadra, a neighborhood in Belgrade. According to the legend, the woman not only dances but also chases anyone who approaches her, wielding a knife with the intention of causing harm or even killing them. The first known sighting of the Serbian Dancing Lady occurred at the end of September 2019. She was seen dancing outside a hospital in Zvezada. Reports indicate that she threatened bystanders with a knife, which led to several police searches despite the efforts of the authorities. It was believed that she might be mentally ill, and her identity was later speculated to be that of a woman named Mira, who lived in Svetkova. However, these details remained unverified, adding to the mystery surrounding her. The urban legend quickly went viral, especially on social media platforms like TikTok, where numerous videos purported to show sightings of the Serbian Dancing Lady. These videos, although mostly staged or fabricated, contributed to the widespread fear and fascination with the legend. Some videos were obviously fake and made for entertainment, while others were more convincingly produced to scare viewers. Despite the falsehoods, the legend maintained its grip on the imagination of many people. The description of the Serbian Dancing Lady is consistent across most accounts. She is depicted as a middle-aged woman, described as eerie and unsettling, especially when performed late at night in deserted areas. Her most terrifying trait, however, is her tendency to pull out a knife and chase anyone who approaches her at abnormal speed, which adds a layer of danger and urgency to the encounters described in the stories. The skills attributed to the Serbian dancing lady in the legend include her ability to intimidate and scare people, her proficiency with a knife, and her unusual speed. These skills are often exaggerated in retellings to enhance the horror element of the legend. There is no verified information about whether she has actually harmed anyone, but the implication that she might is enough to keep the legend alive. Serbian dancing lady is always described as wearing a national costume, which adds a cultural element to the legend. Her dance moves are traditional, yet the context in which they are performed late at night in an isolated location gives them a sinister twist. Her face is never fully seen or revealed in the stories, maintaining the enigma and fear factor associated with her. Her whereabouts are also unknown, and she is often described as appearing and disappearing without a trace. The legend of the Serbian dancing lady also includes various speculative details about her identity and background. It is widely believed that her name is Myra, although this has never been confirmed. The lack of concrete information about her adds to the aura of mystery and makes the legend more intriguing. Over time, the Serbian dancing lady has become a part of internet folklore, with numerous stories and videos perpetrating the myth. The combination of a seemingly harmless activity like dancing with the threat of violence creates a compelling and disturbing narrative. The legend taps into deep-seated fears of the unknown and the unpredictability of human behavior, making a powerful and an enduring piece of modern mythology. Hachishakusama. The story of 8 feet tall, also known as Hachishakusama, originates from Japanese urban legends and folklore. Hachishakusama is a malevolent spirit that has been terrifying the imaginations of those who hear her tales. The spirit is characterized by her towering height of 8 feet, which is a key element of her fearsome presence, often depicted wearing a white summer dress and a wide-brimmed hat. She moves through the world with an eerie grace, her long black hair sometimes obscuring her face. The legend describes her as preying mainly on children, particularly those between the ages of 9 and 11. Hachishakusama's most distinctive trait is the deep, repetitive sound, po, that she makes, signaling her presence and instilling fear in those who hear it. The origins of Hachishakusama are not well documented, but her legend began to spread widely in the early 2000s. Stories about her have been passed down through oral traditions and later proliferated on the internet. Her supernatural prowess extends to her ability to absorb souls and manipulate her long hair as a weapon. These abilities make her a formidable and terrifying figure in Japanese folklore. Hachishakusama hunts her victims by stalking them for days or even months. She targets children because they are easier to manipulate and deceive. The process by which she captures them remains unknown, but it is suggested that she uses her teleportation abilities to approach her victims quickly and without warning. When she has chosen a target, she lures them away from their families by mimicking the voices of their loved ones. This deceptive tactic ensures that the child is isolated and vulnerable, making it easier for her to abduct them. In various accounts of her legend, Hachishakusama is described with a combination of beauty and terror. Some depictions show her as a beautiful woman with an alluring appearance, which she uses to manipulate and charm her victims. Other descriptions portray hairless eyes and a twisted smile, emphasizing her malevolent nature. The ability to change her appearance adds to her mystique, and makes it difficult for potential victims to identify her. The shape-shifting ability allows her to blend into different environments and approach her targets without arousing suspicion. The biography of Hachishakusama reveals that she often varies in appearance, sometimes resembling a withered hag and others appearing as an attractive woman. Despite these differences, her towering height remains a constant feature. Her attire, typically a white summer dress and a white-brimmed hat, adds to a spectacle appearance. The legend suggests that her choices of victim, primarily in children, is due to their vulnerability and dependence on adults. By mimicking the voices of their family members, she exploits the dependence to lure them away. Kunekune. The Kunekune is an enigmatic figure originating from Japanese folklore, known for its eerie presence and unsettling effects on those who encounter it. Described as a slender, white humanoid figure resembling a piece of paper or fabric, Kunekune appears mainly in rice paddies during the heat of summer days. Its name, which translates to twist, to wiggle, or to meander, reflects its constant unsettling motion. The legend of the Kunekune has been circulating since the early 2000s, gaining prominence on internet forums and in popular culture as a modern urban legend. The appearance of the Kunekune is a key aspect of its frightening nature. It is often depicted as a white mist that retains a vaguely human form, with a black variation appearing in some accounts. The figure flickers and moves like smoke, giving it an ethereal and disturbing presence. The Kunekune can only be seen from a distance, and it is said that those who attempted to look at it up close or try to understand more about it risk losing their sanity. The mere sight of the Kunekune can cause permanent insanity, infantile regression, or even death. These effects make the Kunekune a figure of immense dread in Japanese folklore. The origin of this legend can be traced back to a short horror story posted on the Japanese internet forum 2channel in 2001. The story was well received and inspired others to share similar accounts, most of which were likely fictional but presented as eyewitness reports to enhance the sense of realism. These stories typically involved individuals encountering the Kunekune in rice fields and experiencing severe physiological trauma as a result. Over time, the legend evolved and spread to other forms and media, becoming a staple of modern Japanese urban legends. One of the first-hand accounts of the Kunekune involves a protagonist who, as a child, visited his grandmother's house in Akita. While playing with his older brother near a rice field, the protagonist noticed a white object shimmering in the distance. Initially, he thought it was a new scarecrow, but when his brother looked at it through binoculars, he was so terrified that he broke out in a cold sweat and dropped the binoculars. The protagonist's grandfather then arrived urgently, instructing them not to look at the white object. When the protagonist returned home, he found his family in a somber mood, except for his older brother, who was laughing and dancing wildly, suggesting that he had been affected by the Kunekune's mind-breaking power. Another account describes the protagonist as a 4th grader attending a summer camp for swimming lessons. During a typhoon, while confined indoors, the protagonist saw a white object moving mysteriously outside. A classmate who saw the object with him let out a strange noise and was taken to the hospital, never to return to the camp. It was later revealed that the classmate had suffered brain damage and quit swimming lessons. The protagonist, who was nearsighted, could not see the object clearly, but was left with a lasting impression of its unsettling presence. In a third account, the protagonist, now a high school student, was warned by his mother not to go near the rice fields after she saw a shimmering black object. Ignoring the warning, the protagonist and her friend went to the rice field and saw a black figure moving in its arms and legs in a strange manner. They were so frightened that they ran home in tears, shaken by the encounter. The Kunekune's effects on those who encounter are severe and varied. Victims often experience mental breakdowns, with some becoming permanently insane or regressing to an infantile state. In some cases, the Kunekune can even cause death. The fear induced by it is not only due to its appearance, but also its ability to affect the mind profoundly. This makes it a particularly terrifying figure in Japanese folklore, where mental stability and the supernatural are often intertwined. Rake. The Rake is a creature that emerged from internet folklore, specifically within the creepypasta community, gaining notoriety for its disturbing nature and the fear it instills. Described as a humanoid figure that moves on all fours, Rake resembles a large, hairless dog or an unnaturally thin and pale man. It is believed to attack humans for unknown reasons, often leaving its victims with severe psychological trauma. The legend of the Rake began appearing on various internet forums and discussion threads, where users shared stories and sightings, contributing to its growing infamy. The Rake's appearance is characterized by its hollow black eyes, which seem to pierce into the soul of anyone who looks into them. Its semi-sentient intelligence allows it to engage in behavior that induces terror, leaving its victims in a state of fear and confusion. Theories about its origins range from it being a figment of alcoholic delusions to it being a proxy of the Slender Man, another well-known figure from internet horror lore. Some believe that the Rake story is based on ancient folklore that references a tall, skinny man lurking in the woods, adding an element of historical intrigue to its legend. The earliest known account of the Rake dates back to a mariner's log from 1691, which identifies the creature by name. Another early account from the 1800s describes a Rake as having a hollow black eyes and an appearance that instills terror. In 1964, a suicide note was found in which the author claimed to have taken their own life due to repeated encounters with the Rake. The most detailed modern account of the Rake comes from a story written in 2006, which describes the family's harrowing encounter with the creature. In this tale, a woman wakes up early in the morning and sees that she initially thinks is a naked man or a large hairless dog at the foot of her bed. The creature quickly scurries to her husband's side of the bed and stares at him before running into their children's room. The couple finds their daughter severely injured, with her last words being, "He is the Rake." The husband, in a panic, drives the daughter to the hospital but crashes the car into a lake, resulting in both of their deaths. The woman, devastated by the loss of her family, begins researching the Rake and discovers the patterns of repeated visits in various accounts. She sets up a digital recorder in her room to capture any evidences of the creature's return. One night, she hears a shrill voice on the recording that she recognizes as the Rake's. The woman is later found dead, and adding another tragic layer to the Rake's legend. The Rake's method of reproduction and sustenance are equally disturbing. It is believed to reproduce by using a host, opening the host's mouth, and releasing protozoaries that enter the body through a form of fluid exchange. Similar to a parasitic infection, these protozoaries develop into new Rake creatures within the host, eventually emerging as a fully formed entity. This process is both lengthy and horrific. Relying on the host for nourishment, the Rake, much like a vampire, sustains itself on the blood and meat of humans and small animals. Eradication and avoidance of the Rake are subjects of much speculation. While there are reports of sightings and attempted confrontations involving firearms, the creature's agility, speed, and strength make it nearly impossible to catch or kill. The Rake has been sighted in various locations across the United States, Europe, and Asia, often in hilly or forested areas where it can hide and stalk its prey. To avoid encounters with the Rake, it is advised to stay clear of these areas, although there are no official guidelines for protection against the creature. Eyewitnesses' accounts of the vary, but they all share the common element of fear and psychological trauma. Another encounter involves 3 girls in Austin, Texas, who see the Rake near their neighborhood woods. One girl thought it was a cloaked man, another believed it was a Wendigo, and the last thought it was a bush. Later, they realized they had seen the Rake when they found a video with footage of the creature. One of the girls' eyes turned pure black after the encounter, a chilling testament to the Rake's malevolent influence. The Rake notoriety continued to grow as more people share their experiences and stories online. Videos and images purportedly showing the Rake have been circulated on platforms like YouTube, adding to the creature's myth. While some dismiss these sightings as hoaxes or misidentifications, the fear and fascination surrounding the Rake remain strong. Candle Cove. Candle Cove is an eerie and unsettling internet horror story that began as a creepypasta by web cartoonist and author Chris Straub. The narrative unfolds through a series of posts on the fictional net nostalgia forums, where a group of users reminisce about a disturbing children's television show they supposedly watched in the early 1970s. The show, titled Candle Cove, aired on a local channel and featured a young girl named Janice, who interacted with marionette pirates. As the forum users delve deeper into their memories, they uncover increasingly sinister details about the show, such as the presence of a character known as the Skin Taker, a skeleton pirate who wore clothing made from children's skin. One particularly horrifying episode that the users recall involved the puppet screaming and flailing about while Janice cried, an image that left a lasting impression on those who remembered it. The story takes a chilling turn when one user mentions asking their elderly mother about Candle Cove. The mother recalls that whenever her child said they were watching the show, she only saw static on the television screen. This revelation suggests that the show is either a shared hallucination or some form of supernatural phenomenon. The concept of Candle Cove taps into a deep-seated fear of the unknown, especially as it relates to childhood experiences that seem innocuous but are tinged with unexplained terror. First published in 2009 on Straub's website icorefalls.com, Candle Cove quickly gained popularity and became a staple of internet horror culture. Fans of the story began sharing it across various forums and websites, including 4chan, Reddit, and the Creepypasta wiki. Some even recreated the forum exchanges as if they were real conversations, further blurring the line between fiction and reality. This communal engagement with the story helped it evolve into an urban legend, with many people adding their own embellishments and interpretations. The story's format, told through a series of forum posts, lends it an air of authenticity and reliability. Readers can easily imagine themselves participating in such a discussion, making the narrative feel more immediate and personal. This storytelling method also allows for a gradual buildup of suspense, as the users piece together their fragmented memories of the show, leading to a climactic and unsettling conclusion. In 2015, the Sci-Fi Channel announced that it would adapt Candle Cove into the first season of its anthology series Channel Zero. The television adaptation expanded on the original story, centering on a child psychologist who returns to his hometown to investigate the mysterious disappearances of children in the 1980s, including his own brother. Channel Zero Candle Cove premiered in 2016, starring Paul Schneider and Fiona Shaw, and received praise for its atmospheric and haunting portrayal of the story. Candle Cove's enduring appeal lies in its ability to tap into universal fears and anxieties. The idea of a seemingly innocent children's show that harbors dark secrets and deeply unsettling, as it plays on the notion that what we perceive as a safe and familiar hides something malevolent. This concept resonates with the experience of many people who remember being inexplicably frightened by certain elements of their childhood entertainment. The story also explores the theme of collective memory and the ways in which our recollections of the past can be distorted or manipulated. The forum's users' gradual realization that they all share the same disturbing memories of Candle Cove suggests a form of shared trauma, adding another layer of psychological horror to the narrative. Chris Straub has stated that he was inspired to write Candle Cove after reading an article in The Onion about a man who still had nightmares about a bizarre children's show from his youth. This satirical piece highlighted the idea that childhood fears often stem from seemingly innocuous sources, an idea that Straub masterfully expanding upon in the story. Candle Cove's success as a piece of internet horror can be attributed to its effective use of this concept, as well as its innovative storytelling format and its ability to engage readers on a personal and emotional level. Eyeless Jack. Eyeless Jack, a figure of modern internet folklore, is a malevolent entity originating from the creepypasta genre. This character has captured the imagination and fears of many, becoming one of the most recognized and terrifying figures. In the digital horror landscape, Eyeless Jack is described as a humanoid figure clad in a black hoodie and a dark blue mask, devoid of any facial features, save for the hollow, empty eye sockets that continuously seep a black tar-like substance. His sharp claws and teeth add to his menacing appearance, painting a picture of a creature that is both horrifying and enigmatic. The origins of Eyeless Jack are shrouded in a mystery with multiple accounts and interpretations, adding layers to his backstory. The canonical story represents Jack Nyrus as a 19-year-old who fell victim to a gruesome cult ritual. This ritual involved the removal of his eyes and the pouring of a hot tar and blood mixture into his eye sockets. However, the ritual did not go as planned, and instead of dying, Jack was transformed into a demonic entity with a thirst for human organs, specifically kidneys. The transformation granted him a series of supernatural abilities, making him a formidable and elusive predator. He possesses incredible strength, agility, and stealth, allowing him to perform complex surgical procedures on his victims without waking them. His ability to teleport and his near invisibility in the darkness make him almost impossible to capture. Eyeless Jack's most famous story involves a man named Mitch, who moves in with his brother, Edwin, after losing his home. One night, Mitch wakes up with a large wound on his cheek and discovers that one of his kidneys has been surgically removed. This leads to a terrifying encounter with Eyeless Jack, who attacks Mitch, leaving him unconscious in the woods. When Mitch wakes up in the hospital, he learns that his brother has been killed. The story ends with Mitch discovering his own kidney covered in a black substance next to his brother's corpse, highlighting the gruesome and meticulous nature of Jack's attacks. In the non-canon version of the story, Jack Nicholas, a college student, is betrayed by a group of friends who turned out to be a part of a cult worshipping the demon Shinadabog. They use him as a human sacrifice, pouring a hot tar-like substance into his eyes. This act transforms Jack into a Camboyan, a half-demon, who then takes revenge by slaughtering the cult members and consuming their kidneys. This version of the story adds a layer of betrayal and revenge to Jack's characters, deepening the narrative and providing a more personal motive for his actions. Eyeless Jack's abilities are as terrifying as his appearance. He possesses peak human strength and endurance, allowing him to overpower his victims easily. His supernatural dexterity and search precision enable him to remove organs without causing immediate death, prolonging his victim's agony. His enhanced senses and eyeless perception allow him to navigate and hunt effectively despite his lack of eyes. His ability to hide in plain sight and teleport makes him an almost supernatural presence, capable of appearing and disappearing at will, adding to the fear he instills in those who encounter him. The character of Eyeless Jack has become a staple of creepypasta lore, inspiring numerous adaptations, fan art, and stories. He is often depicted alongside other famous creepypasta characters like Jeff the Killer and Slender Man, forming a pantheon of internet horror icons. Despite the various interpretations of his origin, the core of his character remains consistent, a relentless, organ-eating predator with a haunting appearance and a terrifying presence. Eyeless Jack's popularity can be attributed to his enigmatic nature and the primal fear he evokes. The idea of a creature that can surgically remove organs without being detected taps into deep-seated anxieties about vulnerability and violation. His lack of eyes adds an extra layer of horror, as it defies the natural human form and evokes a sense of the uncanny. The black liquid that drips from his eye socket suggests a connection to the demonic and otherworldly, further enhancing his fearsome reputation.